smiled and winked at Marcus. Winked. Again the smile. Winked. Winked at Marcus. Marcus nervously followed us to the yard. Okay.
Teacher, how do you say? No dijiste. You didn't say out. You said us.
Marcus nervous followed us out to the yard.
Teacher, I have a question.
Okay.
Is pasture or pasture?
Where? The yellow?
Yes, teacher.
Pasture. Pasture.
Teacher is nervously. Right?
Where it says nervously?
In the last paragraph.
Yes.
Marcus nervously. Nervously. Okay? Now you heard it in a slow motion. Lo vieron ahorita despacito. Now let's hear the audio to check if we have the correct intonation. Remember that one thing is the pronunciation and another very different is the intonation and the fluency. Okay? Now some of you have very good pronunciation, but the intonation and fluency we need to practice with the audio. The pronunciation you can practice with me when you say, Miss, how do I say this? Okay, that is pronunciation. But the intonation and the fluency, you need the audio. You need to hear how they move the voice like this. Okay? So let's hear. I don't have it in the exact minute. So we are going to hear and I'm going to stop it where we need it, okay?
Teacher, can I say in Spanish very fast? Vinimos muy rápido para entrar a la clase de computación, aunque no me dio tiempo y mi hermano estaba desayunando, entonces se me olvidó el libro de las prisas, el de reading, todos los demás los traigo, el student y el practice grammar.
But you don't have only the
reading pads.
Okay, the reading pads.
Yes,
okay, that's okay. Only listen, okay?
Yes.
I woke to the buzz of my alarm clock. The clock blinked 4:15 a.m. as I reached over to turn off the alarm. After rubbing my eyes, I jumped out of bed. It was my 15th birthday, and my father was finally going to let me drive the tractor. I was glad that my 10-year-old cousin Marcus had arrived yesterday and was staying with us for a month. I would have someone to help me with all of my chores around the farm. This was Marcus's first extended stay on the farm. I got dressed quickly. I knew that Dad would be calling me soon to head out to the barn. It was going to be hot today, so we wanted to get started early. I came into the kitchen and found my mother already at work, as usual. She turned around and smiled at me.
Happy birthday, Andy,
she said, handing me a large glass of milk. My father came in from the yard with a basket of strawberries he had just picked from the garden.
It's the birthday girl. Are you ready to get out to the fields?
He asked. I had been begging him since I was 13 to let me drive the tractor. Most of my friends on nearby farms were already driving their tractors, but Dad had insisted that I wasn't old enough. I can do just as well as they can, I kept telling my father.
When you're 15,
he always said.
Why don't you call up to your cousin?
Asked Mom. Just as I was about to yell up the stairs, Marcus came down frowning.
It's still dark out,
right? Well, the sun's just about ready to rise,
said Dad.
We start early so we don't have to work during the heat of the day.
Dad finished his coffee.
Let's get going, you two.
Okay, in here we're gonna start listening, okay? Pay attention to the fluency and let's hear. It's in the minute 2:05.
What about breakfast? Marcus asked. The animals first, I reminded him. We'll eat after we've collected the eggs from the chickens, milk the cows, and send the cows out to pasture. But don't worry, Mom will have breakfast waiting for us when we're done. My mother smiled and winked at Marcus. Marcus nervously followed us out to the yard.
Okay, now let's start. Michelle Gonzalez.
Teacher, I have a question. Is pasture or pasture?
Pasture. It's like a little CH. Pasture. Pasture. Okay,
Pasture.
Michelle.
What about breakfast? Marcus asked. The animals first, I reminded him. We'll eat after we've collected the eggs from the chickens, milk the cows, and send the cows out to pasture. But don't worry, Mom will have breakfast waiting for you when we are done. My mother smiled.
I'm sorry. It's not use us. Waiting for us. Let's continue with Luis. Here.
What about breakfast? Marcus asked. The animal first, I remind him. We'll eat after we collect the eggs from the chickens, milk the cows, and send the cows out of the pasture. But don't worry, Mom will have breakfast waiting for us when we are done. My mother smiled and winked at Marcus. Marcus nervously followed us out of the yard.
Okay, to the yard. Thank you, Luis. Wait a minute. Let me find. Okay. Coming.
What about the breakfast? Marcus asked. The animals first, I remind him. We'll eat after we've collected the eggs from the chickens, milk the cows, and sent the cows out to pasture.
Okay, Rena. Es milked. Milk the cows. Okay? And remember, the word reminded is like with a smile. Remind it. Remind it. Okay? Let's continue with Zoe.
Yes, teacher. What about breakfast? Marcus asked. The animal first, I reminded him. We'll eat after we've collected the eggs from the chickens, milk the cows, and send the cows out to pasture. But don't worry, Mom will have breakfast waiting for us when we are done. My mother smiled and winked at Marcus. Marcus nervously followed us out to the yard.
Okay, thank you. Your intonation was better, Zoe. Thank you. Let's continue with Arturo.